What you're about to experience are my opinions and truths. I'm suggesting they're possibilities for you to consider, in which you can then come up with your own logical conclusions. Welcome out, everyone, all you great decoders out there around the world. Wherever you are, my name is Logan, and this, of course, is Decode Your Reality. And today we're going to be breaking down and decoding the Chaldean Numerology cipher. That's right. Many of you have been wondering why I use this one specifically, why I have stated it's my top dog cipher, why perhaps you should be using it. And I'll be breaking all this down. This one has been a long time coming. The Chaldean Numerology cipher. And just, starting out, when you type in why Chaldean Numerology? Well, here it is spelled out in the Chaldean. And it's the number 70. And when you take this total and you move it into pure mathematics, as most of you that have been following this great research, moving into the golden ratio, it appears at the 64th and 65th decimal digit in the string of the golden ratio. And that's going to give you 64 and 65 is going to give you 129, and 129 is going to lead to this element, tellurium. When you go to the oxidation states and isotopes, you're going to see that 129 for this isotope is the most abundant at 34%. 129. That's from the golden ratio of that number 70. And then if you bring it into the string of the pi, the ratio of the 3.14, it's going to give you 96 and 97, which is going to give you 193, and you can continue to go on and on and on. That's going to lead to the Wizard of Osmium. But that's just starting out with this right here. And this Chaldean numerology being the number 70. And this was tied to the Omicron. And what that was all about. Because see, this reality is not run by man. But I'm going to show you the source code playing out through the Chaldean numerology, why I feel it is the closest to the source you can get. And I'm not debating. I won't sit here and say that these other ciphers are going to be washed out. I mean, I'm not going to say you can't use them. Obviously, that would be stupid on my part because they all have merit in their own unique way. But I'm going to show you that the Chaldean cipher found in this other box here is going to be the top dog cipher. And what is about the Chaldean cipher? I mean, it's the old, if you're a numerologist, or maybe you're just a decoder. You see, if you're a decoder and you're getting numbers, you need to know about numerology, because numerology is the science of numbers. Chaldean numerology is, as it says right here, it's based on the principles that the universe is built upon vibrations. And everything is vibrations that vibrate with different frequencies. And then you get into, this Chaldean numerology. It's the oldest And it's tied to Babylon. Babylon's 21. The word love equals 21. It's the world card in the tarot. So this numerology is based on the vibrations, which is going to help the calculations that you get. This is just basic fundamentals of numerology. And I can assure you, if you type your name in here, you type in your name right here, your full birth name, which I have shown in my How to Decode Yourself, I am very certain that the outcome that you get will be the most accurate when describing who you are. Using any other cipher you're comparing it to, I believe Chaldean's going to be the most accurate for you. I mean, the word name is 15, which is the devil card, which that's what we are. That's why I have fun with this. Be the best little devil you can be down here, because we're all sinners. And if you're a sinner, you're linked to the devil. It says in theology that you're the father, you're the children from the father who is of the lie, which is the devil. It's all right there. So we got to have fun with this. I mean, what are we to do? Just live a life of misery? There's a lot of misery going on in the world today. But if you're not living a life of misery, why would you not want to have fun and rejoice and enjoy your life? Perhaps maybe you were rewarded for it. Maybe you earned it from a past life. We don't know. But anyway, let's get into this Chaldean numerology. I have so many great slides to show you, and why. Why Chaldean? Why I'm a fan, and I'm a numerologist. I'm not just a decoder, I'm a fan of numerology. I've studied many great books from many great numerologists. And Chaldean is where I have been led to. And I'm going to support why this is the most powerful one out there today. And you should be incorporating it into your decodes. And you'll be ahead of the curve. So notice when you take the 26 letters of the alphabet and you bring it into the Chaldean cipher. You should do it with all of them. Then if you're using other ciphers, put all 26 letters in there, get your outcome, compare it against the mathematics of the world, and et cetera, et cetera. But it's a total of 103. And then when you type in the word Chaldean, it's going to give you 27. And let me just go to numberempire.com and type in 103 for the total alphabet, and you'll see that it's the 27th prime number. Right there. The 103 is from the total digits of all 26 letters. Right there. And when we say Chaldean, which is the cipher we're using, it's tied to the prime number for this 103. This is how dialed in Chaldean is to the source code, into mathematics. And we're made up of code, ladies and gentlemen. The source code, we're made up of this code. We are made up of this code. So let's start off with showing you the actual Chaldean numerology cipher. I'm not going to spend a ton of time on this, but again, this goes on frequencies and the patterns of the numbers. And I mean, just the number 8 right here. If you look at the F and the P, they look almost identical. It's just that the F is a broken P. And then you get your Oz right here in the 7, and the 7's tied to Saturn and the crown. There's so many ways to look at this, but it's the most unique cipher, and it goes off of the numbers 1 through 8. And of course, if you know what the number 8 means, it's the torus fields. It means past, present, and future. It's the infinity symbol. And that's why I feel this one has the most merit out of all of them. But again, I will not say that the other ciphers don't have merit. Not going to say that, because they do. But if you want to create a foundation in your decoding world, just use Chaldean for the next 3 months. Forget all the other ones. Find your foundations through the Chaldean and then venture off. All right, so let's get a little bit more into the nitty-gritty of why this cipher is so badass, in my opinion. So this A through Z, 1 through 26, is the 103. And when we compare it against alchemy, we get this element right here. It's also going to be tied to Lawrencium, which is tied to the cyclotron, which is tied to the cyclone, and the way the quantum realm works. I had to think about that one for a second. Lost my train of thought. But anyway, this 103 is a weight of rhodium. Rhodium's average is 102, but it also has the 103, and these numbers encroach. If you're starting to study alchemy, you'll notice that these numbers, they round up. Obviously in mathematics, probably in basic mathematics, you were taught that when you have a number like this right here, and it has a 9 at the end, you would round up. So this would actually go to 104. But 102 is rhodium's average atomic weight. But here's the 103 that it moves up to. And it's this and this is also tied to the RH factor. Many of you have the RH positive and negative in the blood. And it's going to be tied to this right here called Pandora's box. Pandora's box being 45, rhodium having 45 protons, rhodium have a weight of 103. 103 is the total output for these 26 letters of the English alphabet. And when we speak our spells, when you speak your spells and everybody else speaks their spells, there starts to have a shitstorm that comes out on this world stage. And that's the comedy in this reality. If you're in that layer of reality, not everybody was given that code. However that looks. But the Pandora's box is going to give you illumination. And I have a decode coming out on this, and there's a very specific reason why I feel that the Chaldean cipher and knowing these layers, knowing you're in Pandora's box, knowing that you're in the shitstorm. If you study Pandora's box, it's tied to Greek mythology. It's tied to the creation of man because it's tied to Zeus, Prometheus, and Epimetheus, who are the two brothers who created men and women from clay. And it's all about the creation. And this is where you're going to get your illumination. I have this decode coming out. I know many of you are waiting on this, but this is tied to the numbers 1 and 3, which are right here. Just drop that 0. But illumination's tied to aluminum. It just doesn't have the 0 in there, but it's there. And the reason why I have the big I here is because you see the 12 zodiac signs are going to fit all the way around this iris, the iridium, the element iridium, which is the number 77, and it's going to tie to the 27. Aluminum has an average atomic weight of 26.982, but this is actually called, in science, this is called isotope 27 because you're going to round the 26 up. And then you're going to get into the 27, which is found right here in Chaldean. So that's where the connecting points of this strong cipher starts to play out in our world. This is all about illumination. You will become illuminated when you start to realize that Chaldean is at the very origin of this entire reality in this script that we're playing out, I feel. And I'm going to support that as I move through this presentation. So we're going to get into the 103. We're going to get into the 103 through saying the 103. 103 is the 59. Using the same cipher. I'm not going to deviate away from this. Using the same cipher to create the foundation. The game of life is 59. So all the alphabets of our English language is 103, and when we use this to describe, and God said, "Let there be light," the Word was God, and the Word, and we're the machinations of that, and we become this game of life. And once you enter into this game of life, you now have a contract with God, and contract with God is 59. And not only do you have a contract with God, but you have a contract with time. Because God is time. And not only do you have a contract with time, but now, since you're racing against the clock, because the clock is ticking, and you only have so much time, you now have a contract with Satan. And you see, they're all 59s, all of them. And that's because Satan is time. Because time is what will kill you eventually. Time is what will eventually get to you. and you will start to sin over time. And that's what we are. We are little devils down here sinning all the time. And that's where Satan comes into all of this. It's time, Satan, God, it's all tied to the spoken word in the game of life. And look at this, they're all 59s. And 59 is going to reduce down to the number 14, which is going to reduce down to the number 5. And 5 is the pentagram, which is man. Man is the pentagram. And it's the 5-sided polygonal shape, which is going to be inside the apple. And that's where you're going to get man and women biting the apple and then only having a limited amount of time because they now have a contract with time. That's what this means. So let's get back into the alphabet and it going into a prime number. 103 are the total outputs for all 26 letters, and it's the 27th prime number. And again, here I showed this. Here is the connecting, all of them lined up. This, you're not going to find this in any of the other ciphers. So it's a very special cipher. And it's the dragon. That's why I have a picture of the dragon right here. And the dragon is going to equate to currency. You see, we're all being mined for our energetic currency. When you give off your fear and a love emotions, it gives off a currency, and we're all cells in a battery, and the battery needs to be charged, and it gets charged through the polarization of human beings committing through the emotional responses of our reactions of love and fear, which make up the number 37, which is the Jack and Jill. It went up a hill. But it's this 27, and when we continue to move, and we now bring in alchemy found from the 103 into the 27, we get into this element cobalt. Cobalt has an abbreviation of C and O, which is the 3rd letter and the 15th letter, which is the 153, which are the fish story in the biblical aspects of the apostles and the Christ. This cobalt also is the chaos and order element. C standing for chaos, O standing for order, which is what we're dealing with in this reality. Love and fear, chaos and order. Light and dark, good and evil, good cop, bad cop. Up, down, left, right, hot, cold. It's all contained inside this game of life. And that number 58 that cobalt has for its isotope is going to lead into the devil, into the dragon. And this right here is the icon. And this right here is giving you many clues, giving all of us clues. Right here's the acorn, signifying the pineal gland, to give you illumination. But when you go to the Royal Society of Chemistry and you look at this element called cobalt, here it is. It's derived from the German word cobalt, meaning goblin. And when you look at this little picture right here, there are 2 dragons on each side, and there's the goblin in the middle sitting on this ball, which I feel is the representation of Earth. What does the 58 mean? Tied to the number 27. What does the dragon mean? Well, the dragon is tied to the puppet master and the number 58. As above, so below equals the number 58. It's the puppet master running the as above and micromanaging and running the so below. And that's what mankind is all about, the puppet on strings, found from this Chaldean numerology cipher. We just continue to go, and now we bring in a separate layer that has nothing to do with Chaldean numerology, but it has everything to do with it. It's the dragonfly card. These are the medicine cards, the 52 medicine cards, matching the 52 weeks of the year, matching the 52 cards of illumination. If you play poker, gin, rummy, blackjack, spades, hearts, there's 52 cards in a deck. This one right here uses insects, animal, reptiles, birds, And the 27th card in the deck, as I've been showing, and many of you great decoders have been showing the synchronicities in this to describe the narrative in our reality, is the dragonfly. So the story of theology, the great dragon was hurled down, and Michael fought the dragon. And let me just show you the power once again in the Chaldean. You see, Michael fought the dragon. Michael is 22. Dragon is 22. You see the narrative right there. And it's tied to the letter V, which is going to be linked to the sun, because that is what the sun makes, the boomerang V-shaped. Check out my superstars Decoded. But that's the power of this Chaldean and why it's so special. The great dragon got hurled down, and the dragon is the sine wave, and we're all made up of the sine wave, giving off our emotional responses of love and fear. And that word currency is 27. That's what we give off as currency. And it's the chaos and order currency, the sine and cosine waves that all human beings make up. So when we bring the tarot into this, we now get into a different layer, but it's going to show you its truth tied to the Chaldean. Chaldean is directly tied into the tarot cards. And the 27th card in the tarot, let me just show you that. Here are the lineup of the tarot. I'm using this spread, the Fool being the 0 and card number 22. Classically, that's the way it is, but you can subtract the 22 and it'll get reduced down and it will change things. But the 22 is the Fool card, right, in this spread. And here's the card number 27. It's the 5 of Wands. And the 5 of Wands is going to lead to the 5 of Clubs, which is going to be card number 18, which is going to be tied to Jesus, because Jesus and the Christ equal the number 18. And we're all the Christ down here, and we're all doing what's going on in this card right here, which is competition, ego, battles. If you go type in 5 of Wands, Teach Me Tarot, and you go study this card, you're going to see a hell of a lot of what describes this reality that we're all living out. We're living out being our ego. We're living out battling one another. And how do we battle one another? How do we have competitions? We speak our magic spells through the spoken word. And that's, again, another indication of why this cipher is so special. Because it gives us the pictures that we need to figure out how the machinations of this reality works. So here's kind of the overlay, or here's the overall picture of this 5 of Wands found from the card number 27. And, originally the cards of illumination came out first, and then the tarot came out second. But here's the connecting point, and it's the 5 of Clubs, as I showed, card number 18, tied to Jesus. Jesus equals 18. Christ equals 18. And we're all the Christ, and we're all the devils, and we're the good cop, bad cop inside of us, and that's how this reality works. When you say 5 of Clubs, you get the number 52. And here's more truth bombs for you, great decoders. The 5 of Clubs is 52. That's a direct match to the words prison planet. If you haven't seen my prison planet decodes, please check them out. But it's linked to this element in alchemy called tellurium. And of course, the clue here was very obvious, because tellurium, it comes from the word tellus, and it means earth. So think about what I'm showing you. The prison planet is Earth, and it has a hell of a lot of competition. It has a hell of a lot of egos. We all have one. That's your devil. And you use your spoken words, your spells that you speak, to create your competition here in this prison planet. Even when you go to the Royal Society of Chemistry to look at this element, tellurium, here it is. Look at what the Royal Society of Chemistry uses for their icon. That's right, it means Earth. Now, it doesn't matter if it's round, a globe, flat, concave. Folks, it's all going to lead to the same source or origin. It does not matter. We don't need to argue, debate on flat, round, concave. It's a sphere. That is something we all can agree upon. It's a sphere, and that's it. So please don't send me a message or put a comment in here saying, oh, it's not a globe. And folks, it's just, I'm using this to show you what you're familiar with. And obviously when you see this, you know it means Earth. So that's why I'm showing this here. But let's focus on the takeaways and how valuable this Chaldean cipher is, this Chaldean decoded cipher. So let's keep going. So going to the cards of illumination now, we showed the tarot, we showed the medicine cards. What about straight up the cards of illumination? Well, going back to the 103 found from the 26 letters of the alphabet, and the total is 103, being the 27th prime number, that is tied to the word Chaldean itself, the power in this, just this combination right here. Then we bring in the 27th card in the deck of the cards of illumination. It's the Ace Diamonds card. So when we look at the lineages of the cards again, and we go up here, here is the Ace Diamonds card, tied to the English alphabet, and this is tied to the Great Pyramid of Giza as well. So there are many syncs to this in the esoteric, not just what I'm showing you, but there's the 27 right there. And the 27th card in the deck is very interesting. Now, I want to show you the source code playing out. If you weren't convinced then, if you're like, well, maybe you're on the fence of the source code, let me show you how dialed in the source code is with this decode that I'm showing you. And I'm going to bring in my friend Sharon Jeffers, who's been reading the cards for 30 plus years. And this is how she's being used to deliver the code to all of you. You see, right here is the description of what she wrote about the Ace Clubs, the Ace Diamonds card. So here's the website to read from your cards. It's called itsallinthecards.com. Itsallinthecards.com. This is my friend Sharon's website. And then when you click on learn more, and then you type in your birthday, whatever it is, you're going to get your specific card. So let's just pull up May 18th, because I know that's the Ace Diamonds card. Maybe you're born on May 18th. Here it is. And I just want to be very transparent and show you. Here's the actual verbiage of what she wrote. And she doesn't even know I'm even doing this. Here's the verbiage of what she wrote. And I decided, you copy that, you go into the Chaldean, and you type it in. There it is, just so we can be very transparent. Notice it's 173 words, which is a permutation of the 137, which is the 33rd prime number, 877 letters. But it's that 3361. And 3361 is not just any number, it's the freaking 474th prime number. And those of you that know, that have been paying attention to the decoding world, 4 and 7 and 4, when you bring them together, what those things lead to, the 47, the 74, tied to the wolf, tied to tungsten, tied to titanium. I mean, this is the source code, her being used to deliver the source code to you. And she wasn't sitting down with Chaldean numerology writing this out beforehand. I can assure you, because she uses Francis Bacon. But yet here we are showing you the source code, how the power in the Chaldean and being linked to a prime number tied to the 27 found from the 103 being the 27th prime number, because all 26 letters in the Chaldean is 103. So let's get back to this 10327 and the Ace Diamonds card. And the Ace Diamonds card, when you say Ace of Diamonds, it's the number 53. It's the number 53, and we go right back to alchemy. What is the 53rd element on the periodic table? Well, it's the infamous I. I am that I am. You go right back to theology. I showed so many different decodes on this. Iodine. The I. This is tied to Jesus. The 53rd. The 53 is the 16th prime number. Tied to Yeshua equals 53. And this is tied to Lucifer. It's tied to hell, because the 53 is the 16th prime, and 16 is tied to the word hell. When you go look at the 53, just so we can be really transparent, here it is. 53 is the 16th prime number. And the word hell is 16. What do you think we're in? You're in hell. The great dragon got hurled down. You're in it. Just got to have fun with this. Whatever your journey is all about, you got to have the most fun you can have. Whatever that may be. And again, everybody's journey is different. But this is undeniable source code right here. And there's the pyramid right there. This is right here. Let me see if I even have it open. Yeah, right here. Here's my decode on the Great Pyramid and sacred geometry. You haven't seen this one right here, but the Great Pyramid, the Great Pyramid of Giza, Khufu. There it is. Khufu's 27. I know I'm going to be linking up with Jason from Abraxas. I think that's his. That's not even his name. Why did I say Abraxas? I'm trying to decode Abraxas. But anyway, you guys know who I'm talking about. But I'm going to be probably joining for it. Why did I say Abraxas? Why I was decoding Abraxas and Jupiter Ascending the movie. That's why I said that. Archaics. I'm sorry, Jason, if you're watching. Archaics. Jason from Archaics. I'm going to be joining forces with him. I have it in the works. I know I'm going to be. He's all about the pyramids and the simulation, and he's all about the Great Pyramid of Giza, and it's Khufu, and there it is. Khufu's 27. Tied to the ace diamonds, tied to Chaldean numerology. Right there, folks. And this is the octahedron. The two pyramids put together. One north, one south, combining together. So let's get into this iodine right here. Let's get into the I am that I am. This is all about the source code now in Chaldean numerology. So what I decided to do is I decided to take pi. And go 26 digits in. So what you're seeing right here, this is not the English alphabet. This is the first 26 digits of pi past the 3-point. 3.141592. This is the 26 digits of pi. And I had to make this graphically. So it's going to not be on the Gematrinator website. But this is the first 26 numbers in the string of pi, matching up with the first 26 letters of the alphabet. Look at what number it equals. Freaking 126. So clearly you can see the power in pi and the Chaldean numerology cipher tied to this ace diamonds card, the 103 and the 27. You can see the power in it. And folks, 27, this is the first 26 letters, but if you take the 3, you're going to get 27 right there. And it's going to give you 129 if you got them all up. And the 129 is tied to the most abundant weight of this 52nd element, which is prison planet. There it is, 129.906 right there. It's right there. You can't miss it if you take the 3 and you add it in. But these are the first 26 letters of pi, and you add them up, it's 126. What are the odds? Well, this is the source code right here. 26 numbers into pi. But wait, there's more. So let's keep going. I got a little bit more to show all of you, ladies and gentlemen. So I wanted to show you guys all the guys and gals in the actual string of pi itself, just so you know I'm not trying to fudge. You want to be very transparent. Here is the 26 digit. Here is the letter Z. It's the number 8. There it is. Here's the number 1. There it is. And you can match all these up. There are the 26 letters of the English alphabet. A through Z, 1 through 26. And it lands on a number 8. Starts at the number 3. What's the 3 and the 8? It's going to give you the 38, which is going to be tied to Manchurian candidate and man being used. That's for a different story. But let's keep going. Some advanced mathematics, some advanced ways to look at this. If you're serious about decoding, you're going to appreciate this. You're going to appreciate this. So again, this 126, found from the 26 letters and the 26 digits into the string of pi, leading to the I am that I am, the iodine, the 53rd element. The 53rd element. Well, I decided to take the 3rd and the 5th letters from the 53 protons. Again, I want to just digress, just so there's those of you that are trying to follow along. Remember, I took the first 26 digits from the string of pi right here. And I matched it up with the first 26 letters of the alphabet. It gave us a total of 126. 126 originally was found from this ace of diamonds in numerology, right here. Just want to be very clear with this, showing you the source code. It's a little bit deep, but it still is the source code. So I decided to go with the protons of the 126, which is 53. And what is the 5th letter and the 3rd letter? In the A through Z, it's the letter C and the letter E. And the letter C and the letter E in the string of the pi is the 1 and the 9. It's not the 3 and the 5, it's the 1 and the 9. So we get 19. Now let's look at the number 126. And the number 126 is the first letter, the second letter, and the 6th letter. I have them highlighted in red, obviously. And in the string of pi, it's the 1, the 4, and the 2. 142. And when you take the 142 and you add it to the number 19, so you're going to take the 53 and the 126 and locate those in the string of pi, making up the 26 letters of the alphabet. When you add these up, ladies and gentlemen, drum roll please, it's going to give you 161. 161, and this is the golden ratio now. You see, this is not fudging anything, ladies and gentlemen. This is how the source code works. It's not going to roll the red carpet out for you and just give you the spoon-fed information. It's not just as easy as ABC 1, 2, 3. The source code is deep. It's dynamic, but it is mathematically precise. And when you start to look at this code the way I'm showing it to you, you're going to start to notice a hell of a lot of how important Chaldean numerology is with the string of pi, with the string of the golden ratio, with alchemy, with the cards of illumination, with the tarot, with the medicine deck. And you're not going to find these calculations directly like I've been finding with the other ciphers. And I will be very crystal clear. I'm not saying the other ones don't have merit. And you can find these connections using the other ciphers. So those of you that feel challenged, by all means, I encourage you to go look at the other ciphers. But I'm just showing you how powerful the Chaldean numerology cipher is on this planet and in the decoding world. Woo! So that's my whole spiel on this decode. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you got this right here. This is a little bit obviously advanced, moving from layer to layer, but you can clearly see how these numbers all link to the source code, alchemy, and the Chaldean numerology. And it's all right there. And it's the I am that I am. I mean, you are the architect. It is you. It's using you to experience its own reality. And Chaldean is the oldest known numerology cipher on the entire planet. And forget, folks, I just want to be crystal clear. You see, gematria is the buzzword. Gematria is the coding of words into numbers. You see, none of us do that. We decode. And you must then convert it into numerology. And you must know what the numbers mean to get past the basic fundamentals of just connecting this word is a match to that word. And that's easy to do, especially when you incorporate a lot of other ciphers. So I'd love to hear what you saw during this presentation. I hope that clarified a lot of things for all you great decoders, a little bit advanced stuff at the end, but all you great decoders, this was Chaldean numerology decoded. And that's all I got for today. My name is Logan. This is Decode Your Reality. I thank each and every one of you from the bottom of my heart, sending you high vibes. Like Jordan says, much love to all of you for all your Patreons, your donations. Those of you that are interested in a reading, send me an email, decodeyourreality@gmail.com. But as I always say, until next time, we will see you later.